Welcome to another edition of The Story Behind the Car, and I'm with Peter and his amazing 1958 Sunroof Coupe. He just was informing me the official name.
Porsche 356.
Wow, it is amazing. And Peter, I'm going to walk around as we talk, if that's okay.
That's fine.
How long have you had it?
We actually acquired the car in 2008.
Okay.
And I commissioned Reid Vann he found the car, and I commissioned him to restore it. And he said, "How much time do you have?" And I said, "All the time it takes."
Wow.
So we didn't put it in service until about 2010, mid-2010.
Okay.
Because it took a while to get the body back to where it's supposed to be.
What was the condition when you acquired it?
It was in good condition. It was a solid car. It had a little bit of rust here and there.
Yeah.
We had to cut out panels in here, and then I think they had to put a piece in the nose. I think the nose had a prior accident.
Okay.
So they welded new metal into here. All the body panels are original except where they cut out for the rust.
Yes.
The engine, the drivetrain, everything is numbers matching. So it is as you see it as it rolled out of Stuttgart.
Wow.
Exactly the same.
And where was the car? Was it in St. Louis or?
That's a good question. I'm not sure about this one.
Yes.
I know where my other one came from. It was not in St. Louis, but he acquired two of these at once, a 58 and a 59. And I talked to the mechanic and he said, "This car is the one you want." And I said, "Okay,
yeah,
we'll take this one."
Now, how rare is the sunroof model?
That's pretty rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the reason I wanted this one, because not that we use the sunroof all the time. I mean,
yeah,
it's fully functional, but what I liked about it was it's the rarity.
Yes.
And it works.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's manual.
And can I open the, what would be the best way to show the vehicle? Open the doors or see the engine first? Or
A lot of people like to see the engine.
Okay.
So let's start at the back and go to the front.
Yeah.
So this is a 1600cc engine, which has ironically been bored out to 1720. So it's got a little more goose than normal. They're not fast by any stretch of the imagination, but
yes,
if you'll notice here, most people will look at that and say, "Oh, look at that, that's a nice looking distributor." That's electronic ignition.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, and nobody really can figure that one out, because I've asked a lot of guys, I said, "Look, what do you see about that?" "Oh, it looks like you got a new distributor."
Yeah.
Really?
I would have thought that was a distributor cap.
Yeah. These are Zenith 32 downdraft carburetors.
And you got dual.
Dual, yeah. So what you see right here is the way it came from the factory, except we bored it out a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, did it have a distributor when it was first made?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It had points and condenser.
Yes. Wow, it is just so nicely detailed too.
Thank you.
So it's been on the road since 2010.
About mid 2010, I'd say. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 14 years now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So and you know, it's kind of interesting about what you just said. It's been on the road.
Yes.
You have to define on the road, because although they are pretty reliable, sometimes she takes a little trip to the shop.
Yeah.
And like, for instance, this one and her big brother, the convertible, the 59, both had new shoes this week.
Okay.
So that was a fun undertaking.
Do they like their new shoes?
They love their new shoes, because the tires on this one were the ones that we put new on, and so they would be 14 years old.
Yes.
And the convertible D's shoes were 17 years old. But this only has less than 10,000 miles, and the convertible D has 10,100.
Wow.
But the tires were 17 years old.
Yeah. That's impressive. And these are the new shoes she has?
Those are the new shoes.
Yeah.
Now for people who really look at specs, if you notice the wheel covers.
Yes.
So these are what they call super wheel covers. as opposed to the baby moons that come on a standard 1600 engine. So there's a 1600 and a 1600 Super.
Okay.
I went for the chrome wheels and the Super hubcaps because I think they look better.
Yeah. That is very beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And everybody likes to go down and do the Porsche emblem on those hubcaps.
Well, I was just going to ask, is this a beauty ring here, and then this is a hubcap?
No, this is actually the wheel. The wheel is all chrome, and then this is the hubcap.
Okay. Wow. And I see 2 holes here. Is that how you remove it?
There is a tool kit in the front, and it has a little prong holder that you put the prongs in there and hope for the best and pop it off.
Yeah.
Now that's the easy part.
Yeah.
Getting it back on
without denting it.
That's a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you gotta it's got all these little clips, and you gotta bang and bang and bang with your hand, of course, not with a hammer.
Yes. Well, I'm sure you probably buy new hubcaps for $5, maybe $7.
Oh, sure. Yeah. If you can find them, I'll take all you.
Yeah. I could retire on $5 and selling them, buying them for $5 and selling them for what they're worth.
Oh yeah.
So how you drive roughly little 800 miles a year or so?
When it doesn't look like rain.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like snow. It's not too cold. And actually, there's the gentleman here who owns the Aston Martin. He and I were comparing notes that we do drive these in the wintertime.
Okay.
But once all the salt and everything is gone, that's the only time we drive them.
Yes.
But this car has been in rain once. And once was enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't.
Yeah, after having to clean it up afterwards, you learn quickly.
You learn quickly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And how often do you change the oil if you're driving at 800? Do you change it annually, or?
The oil is changed religiously twice a year.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. The oil and the filter, and there's a gasket underneath it. And I have a mechanic who knows this car and the other one and my third one like the back of his hand.
Okay.
So I just take it over. I say, Tom, what do you want to do? He said, I'll take care of it.
Wonderful.
And I know that everything is taken care of.
Yes. That's fantastic. And can we open the inside?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Or should we see the trunk first? I'm sorry, I guess.
Why don't we start from back to front?
Okay.
Get this out of here. I don't know what this was. Somebody dropped it off.
Yeah. Wow. That door panel is beautiful. And the handle too.
Yeah, everything was redone. Those are all original parts redone.
Oh my God, typo.
Man, oh man. It is just amazing.
Now, Tom, you'll notice there are some interesting seat belts in there.
Yes.
Those are racing seat belts.
Yes.
Not that we race this car, mind you. But I opted for these and this one and the other one because when you're in a car this small, it's very maneuverable, but I wanted a seat belt that will outlast me.
Yes.
Yeah, when you lock these in, you are locked in.
Yeah, I bet. And I'm sure when you hit the twisties, you need seat belts.
Oh yeah, you tighten them up one notch.
Yeah. And I see a knob. Is that for the sunroof, or is the sunroof
In front of the gear lever?
Yes.
No, that's actually the heater.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, so you turn it this way
Yeah.
to turn it off, and
And
you
I'm gonna
turn it counterclockwise
Okay.
to turn it on. And what it does is it opens and closes flaps in the back underneath. So it's a heat from the engine that actually heats the interior. And you know, it gets a little toasty in there sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's that cold outside, she's inside staying warm herself.
With her new shoes.
Her
Yes.
new shoes, yes.
And the red leather just is so impressive.
Thank you.
And I'm just curious on the sunroof.
Mm-hmm.
I see a panel up there.
Yeah.
Looks chrome. Is that drop down?
I'll show you how it works.
Okay. And should I go to the passenger side, or I'll stay on this side?
You can go wherever you want.
Okay.
You can see it from both sides. So there's a handle here. You just turn it like this.
Oh, okay.
And you kind of, if you look at the top, you'll notice it
Yeah.
dropped a little bit.
Yes, it did.
And you just push it back.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
So there's no crank whatsoever.
Oh, no. Now there is a crank in the back. If this thing fails to work, you can crank it closed. It's
Okay.
There's a little wrench that you can use. Fortunately, we've never had to use it.
Yeah, that is beautiful. And before we started shooting video, there were people here asking you about, does it pop up and back? And you said, oh no.
Oh no, this is a slide in, as we call it.
Yes.
I don't care for those pop up and lay over.
No.
It ruins the lines of the car.
Yes, it does.
As a matter of fact, while we're in here, I'm going to pop the hood.
And I want to, when you get out, I want to shoot your steering wheel. That is such a beautiful steering wheel. And it's amazing how, even on a small car, how big it was back then.
Well, ironically, you should mention that, because that steering wheel was a optional steering wheel. It's smaller.
Oh, is it really?
Oh yeah. So the horn ring in the middle is optional, and the diameter of the steering wheel is smaller than normal.
You know, I watched a Jay Leno episode, and he was talking about one of his Porsches, and I thought it had a big steering wheel.
Yeah, it does. The Speedsters, the convertible D, they all have a bigger steering wheel. The diameter is bigger on it.
Yeah.
And you know, it's interesting because people say, well, which one do you like better? Well, it's the one I'm driving that I like better.
That's my standard answer.
Yeah.
What's your favorite one? The one I'm driving. Except when it comes to my wife. She's always my favorite.
You are a wise married man.
Yes. And I'm not asking you to do anything with the back seat, but you did say it was a fold.
This is
wow.
what it does. Pardon the stuff under there, but
Yeah.
it just goes up, and there's a full seat back there. And our grandchildren, our two grandsons, Winston and Grayson, can both ride back there.
Oh, very nice. And I'm sure they absolutely love riding back there.
Oh, yep.
Grandpa has a cool car.
The radio actually works,
Okay.
and this is a manual antenna.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. I saw that.
And it goes up like this.
Okay.
Yep. There are no buttons, and it actually works.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this little red tip, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any of the Porsche people, when they look at your antenna, they want to know if it has that little red tip on it.
Yeah. I'm sure those are cheap too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You can buy these at Sears Roebuck.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're not even in business anymore, I don't think.
That's why I said Sears
Yeah.
Roebuck.
So I shot a 1955 Cadillac
Oh
a week
my.
or two ago.
That was a boat.
Yes, and it was a Series 62, which was the shortest one.
That was the car though. Series
Yeah.
62.
Yes.
That was a good one.
And he was telling me about his radio, and it had tubes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it had a Wonder Bar on it too, didn't it?
I don't know. I had a 63 that had a 63 Cadillac that
Had a
had a
Wonder
Wonder
Bar?
Bar. Yeah. But I did not know it had tubes. That was pretty wild. And would this mat would that have been factory?
No, these are Cocoa Mats.
Okay.
I guess I should just mention those names.
Yeah.
Cocoa Mats.
Yes.
Yeah. No, when we had her recommissioned, we wanted it to pick up the red in the interior. So
Okay.
we got them from Cocoa.
And the carpeting, would that have been factory?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
oatmeal square weave carpeting.
Yeah. That square weave is so beautiful.
It is. They did a great job on that. Oh, one thing you may want to know on the sunroof,
Yeah.
these tubes back here. So
Oh,
these
okay.
are the drains for the sunroof.
Yes.
So both sides, and there used to be I think on the later cars they didn't have those, and there was a drain that came out here, but this tube runs in back in here and goes straight down into there, and that's how any water that gets in the sunroof drains out.
Yes. I used to be in paintless dent repair, and we'd have guys that would drop headliners and sunroofs, and they wouldn't hook up the tubes properly, and we'd get a call back.
Jeez, gosh, my car is flooded.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy.
And the back windows, these are swing outs.
Yes.
And that's very nice when you have the sunroof open because you don't get that buffering
Yeah.
in the back.
Yeah, that noise can really
Oh.
be.
That'll drive you crazy.
Yeah. So should we look at the trunk?
You can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
A frunk, yes.
I don't know what
Excuse
did
me
they
while I
call it.
open my frunk.
Did they call it a frunk back in the day?
Oh, no.
I didn't think so.
Trunk is a pretty new term.
Yeah, that's why I called it a trunk.
Yeah.
Okay, here we have a better look at your wheel then.
Yep.
What year is this?
58.
Beautiful.
Thank you. He's actually filming a YouTube.
Yeah,
Nice.
the story behind the car.
Yeah.
The royalties on that must be massive, right? You must
Huge.
Yeah.
contract with him?
I can put gas in the car now.
We haven't negotiated that yet.
Well, here, I'll be your manager.
Yeah.
You're on.
You need representation. Don't say anymore.
So is this windshield washer?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. However, I will tell you this. I've never put anything in it
Yeah.
for fear that it would leak.
Yeah.
And the one thing you don't want in these cars is leaks.
No.
Leaks in or leaks out.
And that's the original toolkit.
This is not the original.
Oh, it is not.
It is a repo
Okay.
toolkit. Everything's in there. Actually, I can show you. You asked me about those pullers for the hubcaps.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting, Peter, every time I ask about anything, you have a unique story behind every item so far.
Well, you haven't heard the best one yet.
Okay. Extra fan belt.
So-
well, I guess it wouldn't be a...
Yeah, they're right here.
I had a 79 930 and it had the original. I still have.
If we can get this out of here. Well, wait a minute. Let me put this down. So this is the puller.
Okay.
So these two prongs go in those two holes.
Yeah.
You just push it down and pop it off like that.
Okay.
And that's the way it works.
Yeah, very simple.
And I happen to have two of them. I don't know why. But
Yeah.
it came with two. So
Well, when you're traveling Route 66 and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, you're going to want to have two.
you're going to want to have two because if you have two blowouts, you got one for each side.
Yeah. So a moment ago, I was talking about the each time I mentioned something, you have a unique story, and you said, "Well, you haven't heard the half of it." So, what is the unique story?
And this is in the whole story is in the 356 Club magazine. I think it was like 3 years ago or something like that. And the editor called me and he said, "Do you have any unusual stories?" I said, "Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do." So this car is a twin to Reid Vann had a 59 Carrera 356. And we were at Kemp Auto Museum. Remember Kemp? You know, they're no longer around.
Yes.
So we're walking through the museum and going around, and my wife Julie says, "Whose silver coupe is that?" I said, "That's Reid's." She goes, "Oh my God," she said, "I'd love to have that car." And I thought, okay, that's all I needed to know. So about 6 months later, Reid called me and he said, "Hey, you want another 356?" And I said, "Yeah." "Why?" He said, "I've got two coming in. You may want one of them." I said, "Okay." So I go over, I look at the car. He says, "You want it?" I said, "Yeah, but it's got to be a big secret." I said, "I'm not saying anything to my dear bride."
Yes.
So anyway, 2 years later, the car has been a secret. So
So he was restoring
he
it?
was restoring the whole thing. Julie knew nothing about it. It's our 40th wedding anniversary. We're at the house, and what my dear bride wanted was to be able to get into her wedding dress. 40 years later,
Yes.
she goes into our bedroom, comes out in her wedding dress.
Oh, my.
And at that time, I had some, I think it was diamond studded earrings I bought her for our 40th wedding anniversary. So I said to her, I said, "You know, there's one thing missing." She goes, "What?" And I said, "Stay right here." So I go in the bedroom, get the diamond studded earrings. I come out, I go, "These are for you." And she goes, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
"Really?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, I didn't get you anything of this magnitude. And I said, guess what? And she goes, what? I go, you did. And she goes, what? I did? I said, yeah. So I ran back in the bedroom. I had all the pictures of this. So I came out and I had this photo album. I said, here it is. And she goes, we bought Reid's car? I said, no, honey, Reid's car was considerably more than this.
Yes.
And so she said, whose car is that? I said, well, it's ours.
Yeah.
And she goes, where is it? And I said, well, it's in Reid's garage. Without missing a beat, she says, what the hell is it doing in Reid's garage? Why is it in our garage? And I said, sold.
Yes.
So that's how we introduced her to the car.
Oh, that's
But the
wonderful.
whole story, with all the backstory of the whole story, is in the 356 Club magazine.
Yeah. And I wonder, is that magazine online possibly that I could put a link in the video?
You probably could. Rex McAfee is the editor,
Yes.
and he knows me. If you get a hold of Rex, I'm sure he would. He'd do it. Oh, it's a riot, and all the pictures are in it and everything.
Wonderful.
Oh yeah.
You know, when you have a wife or a husband, if you're a woman, that is into the same hobby that you have, and especially if it's cars,
Oh yeah.
it's so enjoyable.
Oh, she loves cars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And she loves these little guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I shot a 61. It's, I guess, at the beginning of the summer.
Oh,
And
that was
he
a B car.
And it was a convertible.
Yeah, it was a B convertible. Yeah.
And he has a garage down in Chesterfield Valley.
Oh.
I haven't been there. Not a garage as a mechanic shop, but he has one of those hangars that
Oh yeah.
store the vehicles in.
Yeah.
And he said you ought to come by sometime, and I haven't done it, but I need to.
So what you just described is the middle series of the three of these. So this is an A body,
Okay.
which has the headlights like this and the bumpers like this.
Okay.
The B has the headlights further back in the fender, and it has the more American-looking bumper.
Okay.
And then the C is just merely a reiteration of that with a few twists and turns on it.
Yes.
So I am very partial to the A body.
Yes.
I love the way that looks.
Well, this is just amazing example. Oh, I just noticed your mirror hump.
Beautiful that is too. Anything we should shoot or mention before we wrap things up?
Did you shoot the manufacturer's logo?
Yeah, and when I did, I got down there and my shoes are orange and they reflected, so.
Shame Ricky getting up here.
Well, Peter, is just amazing example.
Thank you. So Tom, this is the tire that was on the car originally.
Okay,
That's 14 years old.
yes,
So now it's a spare.
yes,
Yeah. Oh, and each one of them got a new battery two
Okay.
weeks ago.
yeah. And I think I saw you, your battery tender right here,
Yep.
which is very handy to have.
Oh, very handy. Yeah, that's for the trickle charge.
Yeah,
And you know, ironically, these cars are obviously garaged, but the trickle charge does help. But I really haven't had many issues with these. These are 6-volt batteries.
okay,
Yeah, as opposed to the what would it be, the 67s, I think, became 12 volts.
okay,
Yeah. 67s became 12 volts.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe. And they stopped making these in 65.
well, it's an amazing example.
Thank you. Oh, and these are a little brighter headlights too.
Okay. And it's not a halogen, or is it
Yeah,
a
it
halogen?
is, yeah.
Halogen, but it's not a LED.
It's not illegal. Let's
Yes.
put it that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so very much, Peter. We'll go ahead and wrap it up, and thank you for your time and you're telling us all the information.
Well, I've had a good time.
Wonderful.
I hope you have too.
I have.
Good.
I hope people enjoy it as much as we have.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And if anybody wants to talk about it, I'm available.
Well, thank you again.
Good. Thank you.